Hi there, my name is Barry. I'm a New York State licensed psychotherapist and a professional spiritual intuitive. Today, I'm really excited. Get to talk about, finally, the good stuff. Now, I went over the 4 negative affects, which is, in various terms, anger, sadness, and fear. And today, we're going to be talking about the emotion, but it's the same basic terms for a feeling, and there's many, many words for it. In transactional analysis, it's just called GLAD. But basically, it's all the positive affects: caring, love, joy, happiness, pleasure, and the list just can go on and on. And it's really wonderful that after getting through all the rest of the stuff, we get to talk about the good stuff. So, today I'll be talking about the emotion of positivity. I guess that's the best way of putting it. So, when you have the emotion, happiness is very much an emotional reaction. It's a great one. But like all emotions, it's transitory. You're happy for a while, and then the happiness starts fading. So what you have to do is do something else that makes you happy. And that's why so many people are sort of happiness junkies, because they're always looking for something that's going to get them happy again. So it's very important to realize that in the pursuit of positive emotions, nothing is ever going to be permanent. It's going to be ephemeral, it's going to feel great, and then it vanishes. The whole thing with drugs and drug addiction is for people who are seeking to get high, to feel good. But drugs are not an emotion, but it creates an emotional experience so that people feel really good. Love, well, there's different aspects of love. There's infatuation, and then there's true love. Infatuation is an emotional reaction. True love is a feeling, just to differentiate. Pleasure, obviously, an emotion. You can have pleasure, but it just lasts so long. And then, after a certain amount of time, either doesn't give you pleasure anymore, one gets jaded, one gets tired of it, or the experience that gives you pleasure just stops. And that happens also. I'll give you an example. Going to a fine restaurant, having incredible food. Well, at some point, the meal is going to end, and with it, the pleasurable experiences end. Same thing with having sex. One can have orgasms, one can feel incredible, like the whole world is opening up. But when the experience is over, there's an afterglow. And from positive emotional experiences, there's frequently an afterglow. And one can look back and reminisce and say, gee, wasn't that great? But the actual emotion is gone. It's just the memory of the emotion. And that's basically what it's about. When one has positive experiences, while one is having it, you're on top of the world. It's just really wonderful. And then it ends. And one can look back and as I said, in an afterglow sense. Remember what it was like. Oh, yes. I remember it was 4-4 and the batter was up and he did it. And, it's a wonderful memory. Makes you really happy. And then you have to go and do the laundry. And so much for the happy feeling. Emotional reactions, regardless of how positive they are just going to be ephemeral. And so many people think that they're falling in love. How many times you heard someone, oh my God, look at her, I'm in love. Well, sometimes this is indicative of a true, deep, feeling-based connection. Most of the time, it's actually lust. You like her figure. You like her breasts. You like the way she walks. You like her face. You like her giggle. Rarely, but sometimes you like her intelligence. Men are such pigs. But, same thing. A woman looks at a man. Wow, look at that guy. He's really hunky. What a great ass. Wonderful smile. Yeah, it's really nice to get you into bed. But is it going to keep the relationship going? Doubtful. But this is true of so many things. When one has positive emotional experiences, they are great, but they don't last. And when clients come, they say, I don't know, I met this person. They were wonderful. I couldn't believe I was so lucky. And now it's like 3 months later and I think I may have made a mistake. Have to have clients go and take a look and see where really were these positive experiences coming from. Emotions come from the heart. And if it's a heart experience, or most certainly if it's a second chakra experience, it's not going to last. So enjoy it for as long as it is, knowing that at some point, probably it will fade and diminish. Or, for the very few, what happens is it becomes transmuted. Emotions, if deep enough, can actually open up the doorway to feelings. Let me just say a little bit about it and then I'll talk more the next time. But when you have an emotion that persists for a while and you're with someone or experiencing something, instead of a more shallow experience, it tends to start becoming a deeper and deeper experience. And as that happens, the emotional component starts diminishing. The transitory nature of the emotion has to take over. But, and this is where it gets interesting, the emotion can translate into feeling. If all of a sudden long suppressed experiences, deep connectivity starts emerging. And when it does so, this shallow transitory emotion, regardless of how passionate it was or how much energy was in it initially, that part starts fading, but it transmutes into something greater and deeper. And that's feeling. So I help clients who come, because this is, of course, very relevant for relationships, but also for jobs, vocation. you have to take a look. When the initial excitement goes away, is there something deeper that's replacing it that basically says, okay, this is a commitment that I want? Or when it's gone, is the desire to be there gone? That's when people say, you know, I think it's time I look for another job, or I'm getting tired of this hobby. I think I'll look for something else. Or more commonly, my relationship is starting to get humdrum, boring. Most of the time, it depends on the level of commitment. Relationship just fades away. Or sometimes one stays in a relationship, particularly if there's something that binds you, like children, religious beliefs, things like that. So then you stay in the relationship, but you look for the pleasure outside the relationship. It's much better to understand exactly what's going on and why you're doing what you're doing, and what is the motivation and what is the truth. And my job in working with people is not to get a particular type of end result, but to help them to really understand themselves, to understand why it is that they're doing and what they're doing, and let them make a conscious choice. Okay, do I want to try to deepen the quality of my relationship? Do I want to try and really find a greater level of joy instead of just happiness? Because joy, being a feeling, can last for decades. So these are important things, and these are aspects that people really need to learn. And my job is to help them learn. So it's actually a wonderful, wonderful ride for me, because who doesn't want to deal with joy, happiness, pleasure? But then there's also sadness when people realize that it's not going to last. So enjoy it while you can. I hope this has been interesting and informative for you. The next video is going to be also on positive affect, but it'll be on feelings. So until the next time, bye.